Hi guys, Sean from Top 5 Fit here. We're going through a 4-part barefoot training series, giving you some reasons why and maybe why not barefoot training is good for you. Starting off with higher levels of core activation. So as we all know, movement tends to originate from our core, which is basically made up of our abdominal wall, our low back, the surrounding tissue, everything around our midsection that makes up our core. A lot of our favorite movements, running, jumping, climbing, tend to originate from good core strength. When you're barefoot, you tend to activate your core a little bit more during movement, before movement. There's a readiness that's there. Maybe that's because of a greater connection to the earth. I don't want to sound all crazy saying that, but I tend to feel a little bit more in control of my own body when I don't have shoes on. Number 2, improved posture. All day long, our jobs, our work, everything that we do tends to draw us into poor posture positions. So if you're sitting at a desk all day long, not everybody sits up as high as they should. We tend to be reaching for those keyboards, reaching for those mouses. Everybody I see walking on the trails, walking through the stores, looking down at their phones in rounded positions. These are the kind of things that tend to create poor posture. Well, when you're barefoot, you really don't even have the opportunity to have poor posture. Your feet being planted on the ground have a tendency to align your hips, align your knees, and kind of force that curve back into your low back, so ultimately you're standing up straight. A lot of the shoe wear that's out there today doesn't necessarily promote good posture. Ladies, I know we love high heels, but ultimately that foot position puts the body into a very, very vulnerable position for injury. So these are the kinds of things that we try to counteract with our daily training, and this is another reason why barefoot training is beneficial. Number 3, improved balance. Right off the bat, balance is something that affects us all, whether we're doing single leg deadlifts, bounding up a mountain, jumping off of a diving board. Balance matters. You being able to right yourself no matter what's happening underneath you is a very good thing when it comes to the world of athletics. Problem with shoes, every now and then we lose that connection to the ground. On a neuromuscular level, we tend to not be able to correct our body positioning as well when the feet are braced up in shoes. When the feet are free to open, to spread, to interpret the terrain, we have a tendency to be able to right ourselves a little bit better. So if there, is a slight camber to the hill that we're running on, we can stay upright a little bit easier instead of just letting the ankle roll because we don't know where our foot is in relationship to the ground. Number 4, improved muscular firing sequences. There are patterns to our movement on a daily basis, whether you're a power lifter or whether you're a swimmer working on your stroke. There are neuromuscular patterns that our body picks up, especially when they're patterns that we repeat over time. With a learning structure, ultimately our body starts to pick up on those patterns and will fire tissue for us faster so that we can perform better during that movement. When you're barefoot, you tend to pick up those faster firing sequences quicker. You tend to adapt to your movements a little bit quicker. You are actually responding and reacting to the stresses placed upon you by the outside world quicker because you have that connection with the earth, because you have that connection with the terrain. Number 5, improved absorption of ground reactive forces. Now I know that's a lot, but what that basically means is what we put into the ground tends to put back into us. So when we're jumping off of rocks, jumping off of picnic tables or benches, there's a lot of impact there. When we have shoes on, we tend to depend on the cushioning, the material that's underneath us, and we're not necessarily landing in a position that's right for our structure. Bones are taking impact and they're getting jarred and banged on that don't necessarily need to take impact that way. When you don't have shoes on, when you decide to go barefoot, what happens is as soon as the balls of your feet make contact with the ground, that impact is getting dispersed throughout your entire structure. And once again, touching on an earlier reason, improved posture, right away you're going to be in a better body position to absorb those forces so that you can move on with whatever activity is coming next. If you're on a trail run, you want to be able to hit the ground with as little physical damage as possible so that you can keep running again. My personal experience, the barefoot running on the trail has really provided a means of me being able to negotiate all of those little ins and outs of the trail and still be able to continue a decent running pace pain-free. Hey guys, thanks again for taking time to watch the video. Feel free to hit the like button down at the corner. Let us know that what we're doing is helping you out. Throw us any kind of feedback that you can. We always want to know that we're helping you in your barefoot training.